campaigned through the consultation period for the atoll changes that they couldn't afford it and it would make them uncompetitive. I don't see why this was the case, as travel companies just add the £2.50 or whatever the fee is now to the cost of the holiday. The airlines could have done that as well, I suppose. But anyway, they're not covered. The new atoll has included more companies, as I mentioned. However, there are still companies out there who can escape this regulations. Companies such as virtual personal assistants, or VPAs, who can use their client's credit card to book direct with various holiday suppliers. So the whole trip's put together without an atoll. Travel agents can't use this method to escape the atoll because they make travel available, according to a person from the CIA I interviewed last year. So they cannot bypass the process by saying they're acting on behalf of the customer and using the customer's credit card. And also there are travel companies, proper travel companies that make travel available, who can provide travel arrangements to UK holiday makers without an atoll. And these are travel companies that are based in other European states. Under EU laws, companies can sell without restriction to consumers in other member states, as I mentioned. Probably the highest profile example of this is Low Cost Holidays, who moved to Mallorca in November in 2013. The company does claim that bookings are protected voluntarily under the Spanish Financial Protection Scheme. However, this doesn't satisfy the CAA's legal view that even if the bookings are accepted under the Spanish scheme, the value of protection offered is extremely limited and doesn't compare to that offered by UK travel companies. When the move was announced, Paul Evans, the CEO of Low Cost Holidays, did say that under EU Package Travel Directive, all their customers will benefit from enhanced and full package travel protection under Spanish law, consistent with the EU Package Travel regulations. If you go to the website, you will see that there are two logos that lots of other online bookers have. One is the ABTA badge and the other is the Atoll logo. Maybe the absence of these would put some people off. There is a menu link to a page on the Low Cost Holidays website for the holiday protection, but to be perfectly honest, it doesn't say a lot, and it has another link on it which appears to be a badly scanned version of the Spanish license. But hopefully, if you scroll down far enough, you'll see that some of this is actually in English. Also, despite what some travel trade is saying about this and Low Cost Holidays moving, it didn't stop it being a finalist in a UK Travel Trades magazine's annual awards in the accommodation only category. So who is right? Who is to say? Definitely not me, and I'm sure it'll all be sorted out in the end, either by law or by a company collapsing and leaving passengers stranded overseas. Well, that's the end of my brief history on the package holiday, or protection of the package holiday. Everything to do with package holiday, that was the history. Well, some of it. If you've had any experience of being let down by the package travel regulations or by the Flight Plus Atoll, such as you thought you were protected and it turned out that you weren't and you had to pay extra, please do share your experiences at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show so we can all find out what happened and how it was put right, if at all. You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
What about my phone call? I want to call my family.
Too late now.
Please, please, please.
Step through now, please.
Oh, no.
Too late now.
Here's the goods. You take them in false bottom bag, you strap them to your body, it's up to you.
Look, I've changed my mind. I want out.
Too late now.
So, you're offering me a free holiday?
Yeah,
I just have to bring back something for a friend of yours.
that's right. You'll get some serious cash.
Right.
Well,
Not too late. Don't get talked into trafficking drugs. Once you're in, the British government can't get you out. Don't throw your life away.
You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And now, travel news. A brief bit of news from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. There's new advice for those travelling to the USA, and the advice is about entry requirements. And it says here, most people who have travelled to Iran, Iraq, Sudan, Syria, Libya, Somalia or Yemen since March 2011 will no longer qualify for entry under the visa waiver programme, and all existing ESTAs could be cancelled. So if you've been to one of them countries, then you really need to check with the US Embassy in London whether you can still enter the USA on the travel documents you have, or whether you need a new visa. Thomas Cook has been the latest airline to cancel all flights to Sharm el-Sheikh this summer. The airline said it took the decision as there had been no change to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office advice with regards to travel to the Sharm el-Sheikh airport in Egypt. This decision cancels all bookings to Sharm up to the end of Monday the 31st of October. It had previously cancelled flights until the 25th of May. You may remember last month EasyJet announced that it was cancelling its flights to Sharm from Manchester, Luton and Gatwick for the rest of the summer, although it still plans to resume flights from Stansted on the 29th of May, assuming that the UK government gives the go-ahead. Thomas Cook customers who have already booked trips up to 31st of October can cancel or amend their holidays to other destinations free of charge and will only be paying for the difference in price. Those who book a new holiday departing before the 31st of October will receive £30 per person discount. It says that Thomas Cook is individually contacting customers whose bookings are affected and prioritising those who are booked to travel soonest. Any Thomas Cook customer with immediate concerns and are unable to visit one of the high street travel agents, they should call the dedicated customer phone line, which apparently is open 24 hours a day, on 01733 224 536. It's 01733 224 536. And they go on to say that booking conditions remain as normal for travel after the 31st of October 2016, pending further FCO advice. Talking about booking conditions, back in January, the Telegraph handed the Competitions and Markets Authority, or CMA, a dossier of readers' complaints about holiday booking terms and conditions. It is now expected that new rules regarding holiday cancellation charges are likely to be introduced. The Telegraph believes that the CMA will announce that holidaymakers will no longer automatically forfeit all of their deposits if they are forced to cancel trips due to death or ill health. At the moment, many travel companies automatically refuse to refund deposits even when they've managed to resell the holiday cruise or flight to somebody else. The newspaper claims to have seen private correspondence between an MP and the CMA suggesting that the rules could be modernised. The Telegraph also reported that in 2014, David Bruce Crowtor scored a court victory against TUI, or Thompson the First Choice Company, after it tried to keep 100% of his deposit after he cancelled a holiday 2 weeks before departure due to his icy illness, even though he believed that the operator had resold the trip. The judge ordered TUI to refund Mr. Crowtor a sum of £2,236. What are your feelings on terms and conditions? When I was a travel agent, I did manage to get compromised when faced with unreasonable T's and C's, and I do know of one instance, which I can't talk about, when somebody knew somebody high up in the travel company, and this was enough to get the rules changed for this one particular customer. Please share your tour operator terms and conditions experiences at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on UKHealthRadio.com. A couple of weeks ago, my guest from Animal Protection UK talked about animal tourist attractions. We discussed the conditions that wild animals are kept in, and a story from The Guardian may also put people off visiting animal attractions, but this time for another reason. A crocodile cornered a ranger at the Billabong Sanctuary near Townsville in Australia and savaged her during a feeding show at the animal park. Renee Robinson was acting as a spotter during the show when a 2.5 metre female crocodile lunged and brought her to the ground, mauling her arm. Onlookers told of Robinson screaming in pain as fellow rangers fought off the crocodile, known as Tipper, with a stick. The ranger was taken to the local hospital with what an ambulance officer said was a significant arm injury after first aid by colleagues who staunched the bleeding. Bob Fleming, the owner of Billabong Sanctuary, told ABC that Robinson had undergone surgery, and the last report that he heard, she was sitting up in bed with an ice block. It's been reported that there was no nerve damage, which is the best news that the owner said he could receive. The attack will prompt a visit to the sanctuary by workplace health and safety inspectors, and the crocodile is not going to be euthanised. Cold weather has been blamed for delays at Stansted Airport. Airport security had to scan more items than usual as the passengers wore extra clothing to keep warm. The airport apologised to passengers via its Twitter feed for the delays over the weekend and said that the delays were under review in order to resume normal levels of service. Delays to the public transport network added to the delays as people were not arriving at their predicted times. So my own personal advice, stay locally overnight when you're flying away. Ongoing story about passenger behaviour. 25 passengers have been removed from a Thompson flight. The flight from Gatwick was delayed while these passengers removed from the Dreamliner, which was due to take off to Costa Rica. The large group of people allegedly started being abusive to cabin staff. Witnesses said that the flight was first delayed due to technical reasons before the passengers started becoming abusive, and the total delay amounted to 3 hours. Police boarded the flight to remove the passengers, which included a 14-year-old boy, as the pilot refused to fly with them on board. Sussex Police told the Daily Mail at 11:35am the police were called to an outbound Thompson flight due to leave Gatwick North Terminal for Costa Rica after the captain refused to fly with a group of 25 male passengers, all adults except for one 14-year-old boy, some of whom had been disorderly on the aircraft. Officers escorted them from the aircraft to landside, where they dispersed. Thompson has a zero-tolerance policy in relation to any disruptive behaviour on their aircraft. Now, I'm not a fan of public toilets. I have to be honest, I'm a very personal, private person. And for me, airplane toilets are the worst of a bad bunch. Halfway through most flights and the toilets are minging. Some people are just so dirty, inconsiderate to others. However, the dirty problem could soon be solved, as Boeing has submitted a patent application for a self-cleaning airplane toilet. This toilet will use ultraviolet light, or UV lights, to kill what Boeing says are 99.99% of germs. Such a familiar figure. Boeing says that the cleaning system can disinfect all surfaces in their toilet after every use in 3 seconds. Along with the self-cleaning technology, the prototype toilet is touchless, incorporating a hands-free tap, soap dispenser, bin lid, hand dryer and toilet lid. In addition, the lid would lift and lower automatically between bathroom uses, so all surfaces are cleaned. Unfortunately for me, and most of the passengers, this toilet has a long way to go before it reaches market. Boeing says the cleaning system will require more study before it can be offered to airlines, and then carriers would then have to retrofit planes or purchase new aircraft in order to have the self-cleaning toilets on their flights. If you're near Milton Keynes this Easter, then check out the Easter Bites Festival at the National Museum of Computing at Bletchley Park, with technology past and present and fact and fiction. I mentioned this museum for their Easter Bites last Easter, and this year the festival kicks off with a sci-fi features on Easter weekend. Star Wars characters from the UK Garrison, plus a Dalek and the man behind the Daleks' voices will be in attendance on the 26th of March. There will be free entry that weekend for under 16s who come dressed in sci-fi costumes. However, the under 16s must be accompanied by an adult